There are many books who would be great if they were like a movie or a TV show. One of these books is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I don't understand how this thing is not already a TV show or a movie, because it has the perfect structure, story, everything to be one, and I think it would do great. As a book, I mean, I love the book. I think it was really good. It's one of the few books of Brandon Sanderson I actually liked. I don't entirely like his style, but that's the cool part about a movie or a TV show. You can do it your own way. You don't need prose, right? The story itself alone is already fantastic to put it on screen. It has a great magic system, very visual. The fight will look great. There's a lot of aerial and going around the roof, very Mission Impossible kind of style. The characters are very captivating. They have specific personalities. Yes, the book has a lot of tropes and has a lot of things we've seen before, but it's still intriguing, it's still captivating, interesting. It will feel familiar, but cool to go back. It will be a cool world to go back to, you know? So it's not entirely, as for example, it's a fantasy, but it's not entirely like we would say Game of Thrones. It's a little bit more light, more joyful, more fun, but still dramatic, hardcore. So it will be a good combination. It wouldn't be an exact, let's say, copy of what the fantasy or the world of Game of Thrones was, but a little bit more, maybe colorful, a little bit more happy, with still drama, still violence, still action, but with room for other more concepts or elements that Game of Thrones didn't really have room for. And that book has a great twist, climax at the end that I did not see coming. Maybe I should have, but I didn't see it coming, and I appreciated it a lot because it was very well done. I do accept I didn't entirely like the way it concluded. Like a little bit before the surprise was great. The conclusion, but anyway, I know there's more books to it, but the first one is already its own story. But they could just do a season of that book and then check it out how it goes and build on that. So I always say this book will be a fantastic TV adaptation or movie adaptation. I always say TV adaptation will be better because they have the time to develop the characters properly, to show the past as they're shown in the book, to do all these kind of sorts of things that in a movie will have to be rushed. Do you know what book deserves a great freaking cool movie? Choke by Chuck Palahniuk. This is the same author that wrote Fight Club, a fantastic book, and the film is even better. It's great. We all know the David Fincher production. Sadly, Choke had an adaptation, but of course you don't know about it because it's kind of crappy. It doesn't do justice to this magnificent novel. Look, I freaking love Fight Club as the book. But yeah, Choke, in many ways, it's superior. And for a while, it was my favorite book. And I've read it a few times, just because it's a delight to sit down and read it. The book is not very long, but in those few pages, it can deal, and it deals with pretty interesting and intense things such as mental illness, family relationships, addictions, neglect, identity, looking for meaning in life in a very there's dark comedy to it. Like the main character is a kind of self-destructive character, but there's positivism to it, you know. There's always this aura that something good can happen from the bad. So I like that because it's not just a tragedy. So yeah, what this movie really needs is a director like David Fincher that brings that Fight Club aesthetic to the movie, and he gives it that cool, fast-paced, gritty, cool, comedic, you know, postmodern style with a fantastic soundtrack. I do think this story deserves it, and this book needs to be known more and read more, and the story needs to get popular as Fight Club did. So yeah, I'm just saying this video just to send my love to this book, which yeah, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. When I read it, this is one of the books that actually blew my mind away. Another book that will be very interesting to see adapted into a movie, I think more a movie, it will be Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Oh my god, if there's a book, an overhyped book that I've ever encountered, is this one. They were telling you this book. I mean, I read one comment, one critic opinion review that said they would sell their soul to read this thing for the first time. They were pretty much telling you this thing is an experience, almost a religion experience, a religious experience. It was gonna change you from the inside. It was gonna touch you in such a deep level. And I mean, I kind of get where the book was heading, but I didn't have that. I didn't got into the Nirvana experience I was promised to. So you might say, if you didn't like it that much, what would you want to see it as a movie? Because the book does have an interesting world and a very interesting premise. I liked the thing the author was picturing. I just didn't like that much the story. And to me, what kind of ruined the experience to me wasn't really the author's fault. It was the overhype by other people. Sometimes I feel readers want to show themselves as bookworms and so passionate that they really oversell you a book. And I don't think that was the point of the author. I don't think she really was trying to go for a very extreme twist. But the people were claiming that this twist was used. And once you know there's a twist, you kind of see it coming. All the surprises along the book, you kind of see them coming. But the world itself, it's interesting. The story, there's something about that story that you are like, there's this thing. It's kind of weird, but I wanna be part of it. So that's why I think Piranesi will be a dreamlike, intense, amazing film. If it's, of course, very well executed, with great music, with great effects, with great settings. But this thing will need heavy effects, definitely. Lunar Park by Bret, Easton, Ellis. This book I would love to see adapted into a movie or a TV show, because, man, this thing is, it's very weird. There's a story, there's a plot, there's an argument, but it's just so bizarre. And I loved it. This book, when I loved it, I was just having a ride with this thing. So if you don't know, Bret Easton Ellis is sometimes considered a controversial author. He wrote American Psycho, that already has a movie. And I actually think the movie needs some people love it, but I read the book first, and I think the movie fell a little bit short. So this dude doesn't write like light books. All his books are about existential dread, promiscuity, addictions, fame, just the dark parts of humanity. But sometimes the story is wrapped into some kind of dark comedy. This book in specific was so interesting because the main character of the novel is Bret Easton Ellis himself. He doesn't portray himself as a saint, as a great person. He's kind of a douche, right? And he's himself. He's popular. He has money. He's a famous author. And the whole time I was reading it, I thought this was just, this is his autobiography or a diary of some sort, until the story goes bonkers. In the story, some murders start to happen. People start getting killed. And what's so fascinating is that the police thinks the killings are related to Bret Easton Ellis' book, American Psycho. And whoever is committing these crimes is copying Patrick Bateman, the killer, the American Psycho himself. So Bret Easton Ellis gets involved into these murders. He also has to deal with his family relationship, because he's in this relationship with a woman he doesn't really love, but they have a kid together. He struggles with being a dad because his own dad was so terrible. There's all these things going on at the same time. Whatever you think the book is heading is not heading there. I don't want to spoil it, because and by the end, the whole thing just is so insane. But I kind of loved it. I would just love to see a movie dealing with those things. Fame, excess, money, family dynamics, and the whole other thing that is going on in this book. The whole other thing. That would be insane. And I know I talk about this book all the freaking time, but I do love it. And I do think that Daughter of Fortune by Isabel Allende will make a great TV show, specifically a TV show, because the story is vast, pretty captivating, and it will be just a beautiful story to see on screen. I would say that Daughter of Fortune has one of the best character developments I've ever seen in a book. Well, maybe to me, maybe I'm exaggerating, because I didn't really see coming the drastic change the main character does, which is Elisa Summers. And it's not an abrupt one, it's quite slow. So you really go through the change with her. You buy it, you believe it. And it's an adventurous story where Elisa Somers starts her life in Chile, and then she goes to her great adventure in the United States during the gold rush in San Francisco in California. Plus, because this is a prequel, we could actually, the next seasons of the TV show could be the next books, which is Portrait in Sepia, which is also a great, beautiful story with the next generation, and then one of the most important books by Isabel Allende, House of Spirits, which already has a movie adaptation, if I'm not mistaken. But I would say a new adaptation, a TV show new adaptation, will be nothing but fantastic to see. With the new, productions that TV shows now have. Something like The Crown, but I would say more poetic, more dreamlike, magic realism. Yeah, we would need something like that.